you might see quite a few Japanese elderly men has this hair. This hairstyle looks like the barcode that is on the product. Hello everyone! It's Mrs. Eats. Today I'm gonna talk about English words Japanese use it wrong all the time. When Japanese people see something in katakana, they immediately think it's a real English. And this Japanese katakana English is called Wasei Eigo. So today, let's take a look at some crazy Wasei Eigo. Are you ready for full body entertainment? Let's go! American dog, American dog. In English, corn dog. I love American Doku so much. I grew up eating a lot of American Doku. So I heard that in America, they make the butter with cornmeal. So in Japan, we use pancake mix to make the butter. So it's kind of sweet and fluffy and kind of spongy, but it's really good too. But in Hokkaido, they put ketchup, mustard, and sugar on top. And then they don't call it American Doku. They call it French dog. Why? I don't know, but it's called French dog. So, one question. Please tell me, why do you guys call wieners hot dog? Please tell me. Please tell me in the comment below, please. もしもっと面白い動画が見たいならば、俺たちの Patreon に参加してくれ。そこには YouTube には見せていないいろんな動画やコンテンツがあるはずだ。では、Patreon で会おう。ホッチキス。Hotchkiss. In English, this is a stapler. So the word hotchkiss is from the very first imported stapler from America to Japan. Hotchkiss #1. And also, Hotchkiss is the CEO's family name as well. So we call stapler Hotchkiss, but in northern Japan, they call Hotchkiss Gacchanko. Gacchanko is the sound that the stapler makes. Gacchanko. In other places, they call stapler joint.
No way! I gotta check out this brochure.
Virgin Road, wedding aisle. I really believe this was English. In Japanese wedding, we usually have MC, and MC usually say, "Everybody, please look at the gate. The bride is coming on the Virgin Road with her father." Well, he's not virgin. High tension. High tension. So, what do you think when you hear it? Maybe you might imagine someone is very stressed or anxious or, they're not very happy state of mind. But actually, it means somebody is super hype. Go! Yes! Barcode. In English, it's called comb over. So when you come to Japan, you might see quite a few Japanese elderly men has this barcode or barcode hair. As you can tell from the name, this hairstyle looks like the barcode that is on the product. One day, I was working as a wait staff at a restaurant, and there was a very, very famous real estate tycoon guy, and then he was our regular customer. So he always comes with his girls, not daughters, not family members, but beautiful girls, and he always wear his custom-made suits. And from like 100 meters away, you can tell he's rich. So one day, we got a call from him and we prepared a table for him. It was a very, very rainy and windy typhoon day. 2 girls came to the restaurant before him, which was very unusual. And then the girls were chatting to each other and so excited to see him again. He's also always so cool and rich. When he comes into the restaurant, he was saying, "Oh man, it's so rainy and windy. I'm all wet." All the hair came down to this way. And this side was like flowing in the air. I was like, "Oh my gosh, is that him?" And he found those 2 girls already there at the table, and he looked clearly shocked. And then I think he was kind of angry at the same time too. And then the girls were like frozen. "We've seen something we shouldn't have. Is he gonna kill us?" And he didn't say anything to the girls. He just went to the bathroom, like just angrily. I wasn't sure what I should do or what I should say. So I was like, just standing, bathroom this way. I was very curious what he's going to do. And I was looking him from the reflection of the mirror. He took out his nice Becko comb, very expensive. It's made of turtle house. He took out his comb and then I could really hear his breathing really hard. After he combed his hair, his front side is really nice and neat, just like we saw him every time. He fixed the suits like this. Alright, I'm gonna go. This back of his hair was still going this way. It was flowing this way at the back of the hair. And I could see through his balding part. So I think Barcode in the front, homeless in the back. Very cool style. Viking. In English, it's buffet. So you may be confused if a Japanese person asks you, 今日はバイキング行こうや. So in 1957, there was a CEO of an Imperial Hotel in Japan, Mr. Ishimaru. He was looking for a new style of restaurant opening in Japan. And one day, he went to Denmark, Copenhagen. He found European-style buffet restaurant, Smorgasbord. So at that time, we didn't have buffet-style restaurant. So when Mr. Ishimaru saw the buffet restaurant, he was very impressed. And he really wanted to bring that concept back to Japan and open a very similar restaurant. However, Smorgasbord is a little tricky for Japanese to pronounce, so he asked his other employees, okay, come up with better ideas so Japanese people can pronounce easily. And then a lot of employees actually came up with the name Viking because they thought, Smorgasbord is from Denmark, so Scandinavian equals to Viking. And also in 1958, there was a movie, actually American movie called Viking was very popular. And then Mr. Ishimaru saw one specific scene that Vikings were eating the food. He thought, oh, that's very cool. That represents the style of buffet. And then on that year, 1958, he finally opened the very first Viking restaurant called Imperial Viking. From the very first opening day, there are a lot of people waiting outside to get in. It was about 1,600 yen, about $16 US dollars for lunch. So at that time, the salary for regular people were around $120. So they spend, $16 to eat at the buffet restaurant. So as you can tell, very first Viking restaurant in Japan was sensationally popular. But don't worry, nowadays a lot of restaurants start calling Viking as buffet. Paper driver. In English, this is a person who has a driver's license but don't use it. In Japan, you don't really need to drive around. Especially if you're living in a bigger city, you can use public transportation very comfortably, no problem. But a lot of Japanese people still try to get car license just in case they have to drive in the future. Most paper drivers use their car license as ID. But in Japan, to get a car license is pretty expensive. It's about 300,000 yen. So it's about $3,000. Does that make sense to you to pay that much money and then you get a license but you never drive? And also, how much does car license cost in your country? Please let me know in the comment below. Kitchen drinker. So in English, this is the person who usually drink in the kitchen, and mainly women. So why do those women start drinking in the kitchen? For women in Japan, drinking in public place or drinking with your family was not such a very good manner. So for the women who really wanted to drink or enjoy drinking, they had no place to drink. So they found a sacred place in the house, which is kitchen. So women started cooking in the kitchen. Then, you sometimes use a red wine or Japanese sake to cook something. So they started tasting it. So as they taste more and more, they actually started liking the taste and then they started drinking a lot. And I'm sure for some women, they just wanted to drink as well. Like my mother's case, she can drink, but she never ever drank in front of her mother-in-law or even her parents. I only saw her drinking in the kitchen just a little bit, or when she's by herself. However, nowadays it's changing a lot. If you come to Japan, you'll probably see a lot of women drinking in public with their friends or maybe with their family. It's much more accepting than before. Alright everybody, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. おおきに